We want to talk about God's Girls, Devotions and Activities for Ages 9 through 12. And this is your second book. Was the first one for younger girls or older girls?
No, the first was the same ages. It's just the crafts and the women in the Bible we chose were different.
And you're going to show us how to make, do you call it a butterfly plate, or what do you call it?
A butterfly weaving. It is on a paper plate. This is what it will look like when we're all done.
That's so pretty.
Isn't that nice and fluffy in colors that girls like? We start with a plain
Exhibit
paper
A.
plate. I like to use the heavy-duty ones because the frame will last longer, and if you pull a little hard on the yarn, you won't be ripping the plate apart.
Well, is it hard to cut that out? It's kind of heavy.
Well, you can use the point of a scissors to push into the middle of it, or a needle to get it started, and it's really not that hard to cut into. What happens is I draw a circle on it, and I also draw the little dots that will be holes that we need for the weaving. And once you've done one, if you're going to do it with several girls, you can use that as your pattern. Just put it over it, trace there, and pop a little pencil mark into all the holes, and you'll have it. And then really, you just have to poke in and start cutting, and it's not all that hard to cut. You will then, once you've cut the whole circle out,
Yeah, we're going to show you the steps.
You're going to take a hole punch, and you're going to, wherever you've put these little marks for the dots, you're going to punch a hole.
And this is what it looks like when you get it to that step.
Yes, and on this one I've also done some stamping, just to give a background design.
Is that freehand, or do you use some stencils of some
I
kind?
use a little ink pad, and I use stamps. Only I don't use the whole stamp always. This is a lollipop. I'm actually just going to stamp into a little part of that, and then all I have to do is just put that on here and
gives it a little border.
Hard. Yeah, it just gives a little border to whatever
There you
I'm
go.
doing. This one is a balloon, and this has the stamps from both the little lollipop and the balloon on it.
Now our next step
The next
is the yarn.
step is to take yarn. I take it where it's about 3 yards long, and you're going to, and you can number these on the back if you're confused, 1, 2, I think it's 12 at the top, and then 1 to 12 starting the opposite way, because when you put this in,
Got a yarn needle there, it looks like.
yes, I have a needle that you can thread into the yarn. If you don't have a needle, you can take a piece of Scotch tape and wrap it around the end to make it stiff, and do it with that. And you're going to go to the next one there, and then cross over each time from the top to the bottom of the next one. And this is making what we, the basic weaving that we're going to do, our warp thread it's called in weaving. And you'll just keep going on the back to the next circle each time, and on the front you cross over to the opposite side.
Gives kids such a sense of accomplishment.
Right, and when
to
you've
do something
gone
like
a little
this.
ways, you can take this piece and put it through your loop, the next loop, and actually tie a knot to finish it off. If you don't want to tie a knot there, you could just use tape and tape it down in place, and that would work too.
So you've kind of come this far, I take it.
Yes.
So we're kind of at this step
back
now.
and forth and finished the basic shape of our butterfly here.
And this is what it looks like on the back. So you've basically made the wings.
Right, and then we want to start weaving back and forth, and you can buy yarn in the balls, or you can go where they have needlepoint and buy just a little bit of yarn that is sold on a little piece of cardboard, and that way you can get more colors without having to buy too much.
Where do you get that volume? Oh, this would go. This would be this.
This would be the basic purple
Yeah, where do you get
here, or
this?
this. The yarn stores, any craft store
Oh,
has
really?
all sorts of fancy yarns these
There
days.
you go.
And these have little ribbons just to make it more fun.
And you weave that.
You're going to
I think I
thread
ahead of you,
another piece of yarn, and you're just going to be weaving.
Take it back and forth.
Yeah. Over and under, you know, you go over the first piece, you're going to go under the next one, and then over and under to weave in and out. And this is what you call the weft threading. And you can actually, if you're good, you can go over and under at one time through several pieces and pull it through.
Yeah, and
that's fine,
any girl
too.
that age could do that. Okay, what's this?
This is, we have now,
Excuse me.
once we've done one, and at the back end, when you're finished with one side of it, you're just going to knot it off. You're going to, in the back, pull it through, and, well, you're going to pull it through and put a knot on that. So you're just going to go here, and you'll have a loop that you pull through, knot that, and you're ready to cut it off. And once you've done one, you start with another color and another, and just the ends of it can be woven right into
That's woven
where
nice and
things
tightly.
are.
Yeah.
And once you've done, you can do one side at a time, or you can do you might want to do this blue and then that blue and
So
this pink
you've
and
put
that
the
pink.
fluffy stuff right here in the center
Yes,
and
I
also
did.
on the end. Okay.
Right. And then what we want to do is add this fluff. And the way to do that is with a lark's head knot. Now, have you heard of a lark's head knot?
Never.
All right, I want to show you how to
I've
do it
lived a long
large
time.
so they can see it. Hold this for me. Just hold it between your two hands. I'm going to take a piece of yarn. When we fold it in half, there's a loop at one end. I'm going to put the loop up above,
Okay.
halfway across this, and take the ends and pull it through. That gives you what we call a lark's head knot.
Is that how you do that?
No, this is how we do these fluffy pieces here. So we would be taking,
Oh, okay.
and it's also a latch hook stitch. So you could actually use a latch hook tool, and on these you would be coming in with your loop if you want to use this and pulling it through just like we did the lark's head there. But that helps you pull it through, and then you can trim these to the size you want.
There you go. Okay.
If you wanted to do it by hand, you can just take this and put it through the yarn. Let's see if we can have them see that. When you put it through, again, you've got the loop and you want to pull those ends through. Either way.
And do you make this little thing too?
Yes, we
Little
do.
body for it?
Right, so once you've done, and I tend to push this back and work here, and then when I'm done, I push all these lark's heads back into here to make it nice and
fluffy.
in the center. But I've gotten them out of my way. Now I'm going to take 10 pieces of yarn all at once and use the whole thing to make one big lark's head knot. So I'm going to pull, here I've got my loop, and the yarn is going to come up from behind. If I can pull that through,
You look to me
show in
like
the
you
back.
could do this with your eyes closed.
And we're going to pull that through, and that gives us this fluffy body for the butterfly.
There you go.
And
That
then
is very pretty.
we just add a head by taking a little bead, putting the yarn through that, and basically going into the top of the lark's head knot with the needle and the yarn, and we're going to just tie that on there.
Hey.
Isn't that nice and fluffy?